All right, today is Thursday, and yes, I am well aware that it is not Monday for I do my usual when I do usually do the show. But today I am not really going to count this as an episode, but I am just because I'm just going to cover Trump's State of the Union address that he did the other day. And I watched the whole thing live. I watched the responses, and I've seen all the different types of reactions. Today is February 1st, 2018. My name is Jason Riley, and this is the Riley Report. All right, so I'm going to jump right in. So overall, I'm going to start off by saying that I think it was a really, really, really good speech. I think it was amazing. And also, you might notice that I sound, quality-wise, I sound much better. This is because the other day I got a mixing board. It's really nice, and I love it. It makes recording things so much easier and better. And I didn't get it for the podcast specifically. I'm really into music and I record music, so I mainly got it for that. So it's really nice to have it for podcasting. So anyway, there was a strategy to the speech that I want to talk about that I thought was really good. Whoever wrote it and Trump's team, it did an amazing job. I was really impressed with the speech. It really was. It actually was a really unifying speech, and he talked about a lot of good things. Difference between Trump and Obama is when Obama came to talk, Obama came out and said that America was this awful place, and then just all saying a bunch of really negative things about America when he did these kind of speeches. And then Trump is out here talking about how great we are, which we really are, and how much what he's done and how it's changed, which I think is really good. So the strategy I think that was behind it Trump and his team knew that before the speech even happened, he knew that the Democrats were going to sit and not clap for anything the entire time. In fact, the approval rating from the Democrats of the speech was a whopping 43%. It should have been higher because it was a really good speech. I give it an A-. It would have been an A+ if it wasn't as long as it was. It's the only reason I mark it down points. It was truly amazing. So he does say a lot of the strategy was that he would say all these really good things like that are undeniably good, and then the Democrats would be sitting down, not clapping for these things that are amazing, such as like when he talked with the veteran who had performed CPR for 20 minutes on his fallen ally to save his life, or the 11 or 12-year-old, I think, that he recognized for being responsible for the placement of several thousands of American flags by the graves of our fallen soldiers, and things that even they pushed for that they didn't applaud for, like when he said that the black unemployment rate is an all-time low, they still didn't clap or anything. So I'm going to play a clip from the speech, only 2 clips from this exact speech. This first one is going to be about his thing on unemployment.
And together we are building a safe, strong, and proud America. Since the election, we have created 2.4 million new jobs, including 200,000 new jobs in manufacturing alone. Tremendous numbers. After years and years of wage stagnation, we are finally seeing rising wages. Unemployment claims have hit a 45-year low. And something I'm very proud of, African American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded.
This is what I was talking about. The Democrats still don't applaud right here. Some of them do. I'm going to give credit to the ones that do right here, but there are some that I just see, you can see right now, if you're watching, that are just sitting there doing nothing. I think I saw Bernie Sanders clapping.
And Hispanic American unemployment has also reached the lowest levels in history.
All right, so also something I forgot to start out with, that is it just me, or was half the speech just applause? Like, I think the speech could have been 45 minutes long if nobody applauded ever. I mean, they were applauding after every five sentences. It was crazy. So anyway, right there, like I was saying, he talked about the unemployment rate that that is great in America, that is getting better, that of all people. And like I said, about the strategy of it is working. It's making the Democrats look bad, which is what he is trying to get at when he was saying these awesome things, and the Democrats just sat there in silence and didn't do anything. So that's that. And the next thing I'm gonna pull up is about his stances on immigration. So when he talked about immigration, he talked about obviously what he believed in. He talked about how generous the deal was for them, but he got booed at one point. Here's the clip, and you can listen about what he said.
The fourth and final pillar protects the nuclear family by ending chain migration.
Again, applause every 5 seconds.
Under the current broken system, a single immigrant can bring in virtually unlimited numbers of distant relatives. Under our plan, we focus on the immediate family by limiting sponsorships to spouses and minor children.
So that's that, where he got booed. Obviously it was an unpopular belief that that Trump said that it was that you could bring in virtually unlimited amount of people. I mean, it's obviously not unlimited. You can't bring in literally everybody, but it is insane how many people the chain migration will let you bring into the states. I think it's ridiculous, and I definitely agree with him that it needs to be cut down. I like the spouses and children. That's it. That sounds good to me. I don't think we should be able to bring in many people. I don't think that just because you're related to somebody, you are automatically as great as them. I don't think that at all. I mean, we shouldn't be, even if it's not even directly related, like uncles and third cousins, people you aren't even around much. I mean, I definitely agree with his immigration policies, and like I said last episode on Monday, it is a very generous offer that he's putting out there. So the Democrats responded, obviously, as you would think they would. Like I said, it had a 43% approval rate, and Joe Kennedy is who the Democrats put forward to talk about to respond to the State of the Union. I don't know, but at the same time, I do know why they put him forward. I don't understand it, is what I mean by that, but they put him forward because his last name is Kennedy. It seems like anybody with the last name of Kennedy, Trump, Obama, Clinton is automatically going to be a face in politics just because of their last name. I don't think that's how it should be, but he basically didn't really trash directly the speech, but like kind of talked about what Democrats believed, didn't really just respond to directly for the most part, but here's a clip from it. I don't have many on. I only have this one. I'll admit I haven't watched his whole 13-minute response. I've watched a lot of it though.
We see an economy that makes stocks soar.
I forgot. This is about the economy and like his whole tax plan. He's ripping on that real quick.
Investor portfolios bulge and corporate profits climb, but fails to give workers their fair share of the reward. A government that struggles to keep itself open. Russia, knee-deep in our democracy.
Okay, so also not to mention the fact that when he talks every 3 words, there is a pause. So, and not to mention, if you could watch, you could obviously see like it appeared that there was I don't think it is, there was some explanation that I didn't hear. I forget if I did, I forget what it was, that it looks like that he's drooling off both sides of his mouth. It's really funny. But anyway, he's really ripping on the tax plan right there, and I think what he said right there is just straight up wrong. I mean, that the workers aren't getting their fair share. I mean, have you seen all the companies that I've talked about? I've talked about the last week at the end of the show. I talked about the more companies that are more companies are constantly giving wage raises to their employees because of these tax cuts. Are you kidding me? And you're going to tell me that the workers aren't getting their more money because of it? Are you serious? So, I mean, the workers are getting more money because not only are their taxes getting cut, but because they're making more money too. So they have to pay less in taxes, and their income is getting increased. So I don't understand why the common worker is getting less money now. That doesn't make much sense. He also, at the very end, he mentioned that he says politicians, so something along the lines of politicians are praised for the promises they make, but America is judged by the promises we keep. So, referring to other nations. So I had a thought on that, and that is that who cares? Who cares what other nations think? We could annihilate almost anybody. I don't think it's just the same concept with the whole when Nikki Haley at the UN, when a lot of UN ambassadors from other countries of other allies disagreed with our Jerusalem move, our declaration of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. A lot of people said we shouldn't do that, but Nikki Haley, like, I loved what she said when they said that. They're like, we don't need you. We fund you. We give you money. So we're going to remember that you disagree with us when you want our funding and our help. So every other nation should be afraid of us. We can't act like that what other nations exactly think of us matters too much. I don't think we should, really. I don't think it really does matter that much what other nations think of us. But I mean, it's not like, I guess it is bad of us to like go back on our word towards other nations. Like, for example, if we make a promise to some nation and then we end up breaking it or completely going back against it, that, like, if we had I can't think of any exact examples, but if we real world examples, but if we promised that we would aid a country in an invasion or an attack, I think we should aid them if it comes. Like, going back on that would be bad for us. That's immoral. But I mean, like I said, I don't think we should necessarily care about what other nations think of us, as long as they don't think that we are tyrannical or exceptionally awful, which is because Trump is Trump. People are starting to say he is tyrannical and awful. But lastly, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to say. But lastly, I do want to say that there is one part that is my absolute favorite line from the entire speech. It was one of my favorite things. I want to get a t-shirt with it said on it. I'm going to play the clip right here.
My duty, and the sacred duty of every elected official in this chamber, is to defend Americans, to protect their safety, their families, their communities, and their right to the American dream. Because Americans are dreamers too.
That right there. Americans are dreamers too. That is my favorite line in the entirety of the speech, because that really brings out a really good point. And that point being that we can't put these illegal immigrants ahead of our own citizens, because Americans are dreamers too. I mean, we have our own dreams, and we shouldn't. No American, actual American, and people who have worked for their citizenships, immigrants that have worked for their citizenships, shouldn't be put behind the people who entered the country illegally. I think that's an absolute amazing line. Something that he said was great, along with a lot of other things he said that were great. I mean, like I said, many of the things he said were undeniably good things. And if you say they're wrong, I mean, there's something wrong with you, some of them. But he did a really good job with the strategy behind it. Also, real quick, I saw that when Bernie Sanders responded, he responded to it. He was kind of mad that Trump said nothing on climate change. Like, I don't know where this came from. I'm trying to think real quick of another really minor problem that Trump should have talked about. I can't think of any, but it's like Trump coming out there and talking about basically the same thing, but like Trump standing at this really important speech and talking about air pollution or something, or water pollution, or how we need to recycle more, something like that. But it's not really that big, that as much as an issue as some of these other things. I think Bernie was, as he normally is, really crazy for saying that. I guess he was just mad he didn't get his pudding cup at the end. But Trump didn't talk about that because it's like on the list of things that are the largest issues according to Americans, I think climate change is towards 10, 11, 12, 13, that area. I mean, that's not on the top. It's not close to the top. It's not a major issue. I don't know why Bernie was mad that Trump didn't talk about it. So, like I said, good strategy, really good speech. It was actually really unifying, and I was really proud of that it really was a unifying speech and meant to bring us together. But as I've continued to say, the Democrats are stubborn, and sometimes they've been stubborn to even unify. Like, they're not even giving a chance, and I think that's ridiculous. You should give a chance and listen and open up your ears and open up your heart. And if you don't think that was a unifying speech, you need to open up your ears and open up your heart. And so that basically concludes my review and analysis of the speech. So I will see you guys on Monday again for my next weekly episode. My name is Jason Riley, and this is the Riley Report.